Sun, Moon, or Rising in Pisces, July 2025. No matter what predictions I do from now on, Pisces, till July 2025, or astrologers tell you, even if they're scary, you are protected. The same for all the water signs, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, because Jupiter is sending its super beneficial aspect, trine to your sun, moon, or rising. So this aspect, this Piscean side of you is very protected. If it's your moon, your personal life and feelings will be very protected and good stuff will be happening, and emotional well-being, family life. If it's your sun in Pisces, your career can be very protected and good stuff will be happening, and your health as well. Moon and sun, they're also connected to the health and bodily integrity. With the sun is also your goals and dreams in life will be protected and advanced over the next 12 months. And if it's your ascendant, your relationships as well, your path in life, your body definitely. So there's a lot of protection, but let's look how the influences are specifically for this month. Jupiter is working there, will continue for another 11 months. But first, you have Venus in your fourth house, the whole month, just for this month. Good stuff come to you from home. I just had Venus in my fourth house. I really enjoyed staying at home. Usually at this time of year, I'm on the beach, I'm gone all the time, I'm blah, blah, blah. This time, Venus in the fourth house, I'm like, my home is my castle. I'm enjoying it so much. We did the garden so nice. We made it so much pleasant to be, and I've been just enjoying there, laying on the hammock and swinging. So good time to settle, to feel more content at home, to do some nice things for the home, for the family. I improved a bit my relationship with my parents. It always needs working on. Um, but yeah, so stuff like that, anything to do with home or even real estate property, buying, selling property, that can be a good activation if you have other. Just Venus in the fourth house will not allow you to buy or sell a property unless there are other powerful indications that it's time for you. But if you're already in the process, this can be the one that kicks it off. Then at the same time, Mars will be the whole month in your seventh house. So if anything triggers you, that will be others. Your partner might trigger you, clients, um, any kind of business partners. And when exactly it will happen? Exactly when Mars opposes your sun, moon, or rising in Pisces. If you are earlier born Pisces, maybe even at the end of June, the beginning of July. If you're later born Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, might take up to the end of July, where you feel this kind of, it might be a confrontation, it might be trigger. And especially if you've been suppressing some anger or frustration about maybe your marriage partner, maybe another person in your life, doesn't have to be the marriage partner. If you don't have one, a boyfriend, girlfriend, might be a client or someone you work with. If you've had some suppressed anger, it can come to the surface because the South Node is with Mars, and the South Node is the planet of suppression that wants to, anger that's been suppressed, that wants to be released, that wants to, and that's why it's dangerous combination for the whole world with the current situation that we are, especially karmically unresolved past conflicts. That's exactly the situation we're in right now, karmically unresolved. It's a century-old conflicts that's happening. But I'm not saying, maybe it's from past lifetimes that you can resolve some conflict, but it escalates so it can be addressed. Especially if you, as a child or early in life, felt vulnerable, couldn't protect yourself, felt unfairly treated by someone, and suddenly this anger might escalate and you're wondering why you feel frustrated. Someone might trigger it in a very small way that wouldn't usually make you explode like that. But remember, this is much more karmic here with the South Node and Mars. If they activate you to release some held up, so you can react in a more grown-up way, so you can more healthily express your frustration or anger or defend yourself in a more wholesome way, rather than, especially when we're young, or if you're fearful, we can do it in an unhealthy way by suppressing it. And part of this process of healing, of releasing this build up emotional tension, and anger, which is coming out to the surface now, can be through physical symptoms, because Mars is looking straight at your sun, moon, or ascendant, especially kind of more acute or kind of pain, sudden pain, or inflammation that appears, or a cold of some sort even. And just know it's a healing process of this unexpressed, better out than in. I keep saying it. The South Node is allowing it to release it. And you might need to have some thing to release it, through running, through anger therapy, shouting, speaking with the therapist, to express your disappointment, your pain, by defending yourself in some way. I don't know how exactly you would process this. With probably physical exercise is a good idea. And even saying stuff that you're upset about, expressing them directly to another. Plus, it can also end some karmic relationships in your life, because South Node is about endings. Mars activates it, especially if they trigger in you this kind of divine anger, frustration, if they trigger painful points in you. It's going to be, especially those Pisces around that have sun, moon, or ascendant around 20 to 24, 5 degrees in Pisces. They can feel the Mars South Node especially strongly, because it's exactly opposite their sun. But it can be also freeing. It's like, I'm freed from this person. I'm freed from this, situation in life, or from this client that's annoying me, or from this business partner, or whatever. Or it can be just like you expressing it and moving on. But also the Mars South Node combination can also mean that another person activates you into action. They point out to you something that triggers you. Yes, yes, Kai will go. You're activating my seventh house now, Kai. Go away. Before. Okay, sorry, a little interruption. And yeah, so it can act, so it can be like this again. It can be good, even if someone triggers you, but they can trigger into some constructive actions. They can trigger you into getting fitter. They can trigger you into initiating something else in your life. They can be like your engine. Now, another important event that is happening this month is there's a lot of planets in your sixth house. Mercury will be retrograde in your sixth house. So, for example, you might be revising a relationship from the middle of the month with a colleague, or maybe working on some old project that comes back to you to be completed, corrected. Or maybe you realize that you need to change your working environment, or maybe there's some changes in your working environment that you need to adapt to. Oh, you need to learn a new software. Oh, we're not going to be using this delivery service, we'll be using another. So there's some adjustment period there with this retrograde period. Or maybe, the routers are not working, or the deliveries are not coming. I don't know, something that you need to kind of be more flexible when it comes to your work, to adjust, to have plan B, C. Don't stress about it. Mercury goes retrograde 4 times, sometimes per year. Now, this time it happens in July and part of August, to be retrograde in your sixth house of work, duties, responsibilities. Don't lose your head. Just work around the problems. And after the beginning of August, Mercury turns direct and things start going more according to plan again. And sometimes you just need to maybe some old work proposition or work opportunity will come to your work project that you pick up, or one that you need to complete and edit and fix now. Or maybe you rethink your career direction. Sometimes it's like, do I really want to stay in this situation? Mercury retrograde period gives you an opportunity, maybe not to quit now, but to see what's not working. How can it be improved? How my working process can be more efficient? Or maybe I don't like this work environment. Maybe I should start looking around for other places, Or maybe you really love your work and everything, but maybe there is more efficient way. Maybe you've missed something. So these things can become more obvious then. But don't forget, Jupiter is in your fifth house, protecting you. As I said, also, it's good for romantic life, despite of Mars in the seventh house here, where sometimes relationships can be tested, especially when it's with the karmic influence of the South Node. Jupiter in the fifth house says, don't worry, protecting you here, and romantically still there can be opportunities despite of everything. But the other big event that I wanted to speak about is that Uranus is entering into your fourth house. It's been in your third house for the last 7 years. Maybe you learn new skills, maybe you traveled more, maybe there was disruptions in communications or in relationships with siblings or relatives, or maybe new people appeared in your life, but now it moves into the fourth house. And because my ascendant is before yours, I'm just coming out of Uranus in my fourth house. And mind you, Uranus in Taurus is way more difficult than Uranus in Gemini. Uranus in Taurus, there's a lot of resistance to the changes in Taurus. It's in its fall. But in Gemini, the changes that will come to you for the next 7, 8 years, while Uranus is in your fourth house, will be easier because you naturally a flexible sign, you adaptable sign, mutable, as they say. Gemini is mutable sign where Uranus will be, and those changes will be in your personal life. So my story was moving many times, 7, 8 times across the continent. So didn't settle in one place, but acquired 3 or 4 properties at the same time with Uranus in my fourth house. Suddenly out of the blue, always, oh, I like it, bam, opportunities. So Uranus there can be sudden opportunities for new property, to relocate, to move somewhere else. Or you might be for a few years, sometimes it's not all the time, but a few years that you have to live in 2 places. Or half, like me, half the year here, half the year we're on the seaside, half the year we're in the countryside, another year we're in America, another year we're back. So for me, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I hope that it will be similar to you. Sometimes some people prefer more settled life, but the other way it can play out, if you want to be settled and you don't want to be moving, it can be that with Uranus in your fourth house, you can um, find yourself different projects around the house because Uranus likes to keep busy, or just have, say, a holiday place or travel more away from home and back, away from home and back. This can be an easier remedy for the situation. They can also big surprises in family, in home. Someone, for example, can suddenly decide to settle down. New, if you've always been single, free, Uranus through the fourth house of home property, family can suddenly make you, oh, I want to have a family. Or the opposite, you just want to be free from family responsibilities, and you're like, and suddenly sometimes like you get a divorce and you're free, from family. I've seen like a man who Uranus transited his fourth house cusp on the day his wife left, and he was in shock, but then he realized he's much happier this way. I seen another whose children left the nest. Suddenly they have a lot of free home time, a lot of free time at home, and the parenting role suddenly changes, or someone who suddenly gets pregnant, sudden parenting role appears to them. But that's especially if your Pisces ascendant. For the sun and moon, not so much. For the moon in Pisces, maybe, yes, because it's the fourth house from the fourth, which is home and family. Your personal life, big shifts and changes. Also, it's kind of more restlessness. So you need to, because this is the ground we step on. This is the bottom of the horoscope. Uranus is very electric energy. So what I started doing in the last 4 or 5 years is sleeping on grounding mats, because Uranus can disconnect you from the ground because it's very mental energy. And that has been the best thing I've done for my health. Otherwise, I was all the time electrified, and I was all the time sore, or sitting a lot on the grass, walking barefoot. So you need to find a way to ground yourself. That's how I did it. Another way Uranus can play out in the fourth house is sudden changes in your hormones. The fourth house is for women especially, is connected to the breast, to the reproductive, to the womb, to the the baby creating paraphernalia as well. So just watch it out more. Can come and go. You just need to find yourself to ground again. But there's a lot of other ways Uranus in the fourth house can affect you. I speak a lot more with a lot of stories in my Uranus in Gemini webinar. It's 5 hours. And I tell you exactly when to find where exactly Jupiter will cross your fourth house cusp. Some of you Pisces might have your fourth house cusp at the end of Gemini. Some at the beginning, and I show you which year exactly it will happen and what you can expect. Another one of you might have, I know, but sorry. uh, my kids. Uranus, and I show you in this webinar how exactly to, yes, get ready, tell daddy we're going. See Uranus in the fourth house. Still in my fourth house. Oh, someone, it feels like so busy at home. Like I want to run away. I want to be free, but it's gonna go away. For you, it's like more dynamism, very dynamic energy at home. Or another way it can do is like renovate your house, Uranus, with more modern design. Uranus is modern, trendy, or very different way you've had it till now. For me, it was owning properties for the first time, something I've never done, and renovating a lot and feeling a lot happening in the family all the time, a lot, like always the family. And for you, this is coming, but I enjoy that energy, and you can be freed as well. And also, it's cutting the power of your childhood programming. Uranus cuts it, makes you realize how exactly the mistakes you're repeating of your parents, and very quickly to remove them. That's another way it can play out. Uh, Cutting you also from your roots. Sometimes people move and live away, far away. For me, it was the opposite. I was disconnected for 25 years from my roots. So it was the norm for me. And Uranus goes into my fourth house. I return to my roots. To re-experience, to basically to, but here I was able to cut the cord with the childhood parental programming and so on. Anyway, very interesting. And to know if Uranus will do it disruptively or smoothly, you need to know what aspects Uranus will make from Gemini for you. You know, whether they're going to be trines or sextiles or squares. I show you in the webinar again and exactly which years and what it means for you. So don't fear it. I'm a survivor, not survivor. I think I had so much fun those last 7 years. I like being a nomad, digital nomad. That's another word, Uranus in the fourth house. So thank you so much. Check out, it's only $20, I think, still if the discount is on. And yeah, but just know you're going to have a blast this year. Jupiter is in your fifth house. There is a lot of fun. There is a lot of possibilities for happy romance, for creativity, for creative, for pregnancies as well, possibly for some of your good news from your children, fifth house rules children, or good news developments with your love, with your finding and falling in love. That's for the next 12 months. So keep in mind, Jupiter will make you feel much happier overall. So thank you so much.